El pasado subjuntivo. Si yo tuviera $1,000,000. If I had $1,000,000. Hello everyone. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about the past subjunctive. So let's begin by looking at how to form the past subjunctive. So we're going to have three verbs: caminar, perder, and vivir. And we're going to conjugate initially those three verbs in the preterite form of the ellos, ellas, and ustedes. So, caminaron, perdieron, vivieron. So now that we have the verbs in the preterite of ellos, ellas, and ustedes, all we have to do is remove the ending. And if the verb ends in aere, like caminar, we replace it with ara. And eere and iere, we replace it with yera. So for example, tú caminaras, tú perdieras, tú vivieras. The past subjunctive follows exactly the same rules as the present subjunctive. Let's take a look at the sentence. Queríamos que el gobierno respetara los derechos humanos. So in this case, we have a verb of influence, querer, and two different subjects, nosotros and el gobierno. The equivalent in English will be, we wanted the government to respect human rights. So, when we have a verb in the main clause, either in the imperfect, such as queríamos, or the preterite, that triggers the use of the past subjunctive. In this case, it will be the verb respetar or respetara in the past. So let's take a look at another example. Me pareció increíble que los liberales perdieran las elecciones. I thought it was unbelievable that the liberals lost the elections. So in this case, I have a verb of emotion, parecer, and is in the preterite, me pareció. And that triggers the use of the past subjunctive, que los liberales perdieron, that the liberals lost. So remember that when we want to express wish, desire, doubt, denial, we want to use an impersonal expression, or ojalá, which means maybe. And we have two different subjects. The first one with the verb in the preterite and imperfect. Then the second one triggers the verb in the past subjunctive. So let's take a look at one more sentence. Esperaba que no tuvieran problemas con la policía. So subject number one is I, and the verb is in the imperfect, esperaba. Then you have the connector que, and then the second subject, which is ustedes, and that triggers the past subjunctive, tuviera. Now let's take a look at an example with an adverbial conjunction. Tú la defendiste aunque fuera culpable. You defended her even though she was guilty. So in this example, again, we have subject 1, which is you, verb 1, which is to defend, and is in the preterite, defendiste. And then after the adverbial conjunction, aunque, or even though, we use the past subjunctive. In this case, will be fuera, which is the past subjunctive of the verb ser. The next use of the subjunctive is when we have a subject and a verb in indicative, and that is followed by the expression como si, as if. And then the verb that follows is in the past subjunctive. So for example, ¿por qué siempre me espías como si fuera un vampiro? Why Do you always go around spying on me as if I were a vampire or a thief? So notice that the first verb, spy on me, is in the indicative, and then after the expression como si, the verb is in the subjunctive, in the past subjunctive. In this case will be fuera, which is the same thing of saying I were. So one more time, when we want to express wish, desire, denial, doubt, when we want to use an impersonal expression, or emotion, and there are two different subjects, then if the verb is in the present, then that triggers the present subjunctive. But if the verb is in the preterite or the imperfect, then it triggers the past subjunctive. So let's take a look at two examples. Quiero que me llames. I want you to call me. So subject 1 is in the present tense, and then subject 2 is you, and the verb is in the present subjunctive. Quería que me llamaras. I wanted you to call me. So verb 1 is in the imperfect. Subject 2, which is you, uses the verb in the past subjunctive, llamaras. And that's it for today.